Hey, how's it going? It's the game, dude. Well, the real game, dude. And I'm back. Sorry for the delay, guys. It's just that we're busy with personal and even some work stuff I had to deal with. But I'm back with another one. I'm going on to the second show, which is mostly PlayStation stuff, which is fine because I'm more. I grew up more with the PS2 a little bit, especially when I was around 13 to 17. So let's get started with a game that started a franchise and even helped make a company become a multi-billion-dollar company, and that is, of course, Grand Theft Auto 3. As you can see, the keys look very untouched and everything. It looks like it came out of the factory, almost new and pressed and everything. Has the manual along with the poster and everything. As you can see, the disc, it says the trilogy. That's because the game store seller I got it from, had a different disc and everything, but that's how it goes. But aside from that, as you can tell, the case looks brand new and everything. Everything aside from the sticker right here, which is where I got it from. Immediately, for a game like this, it's kind of disappointing. Really, that's sad because but at the same time, it's the first of its kind, really. And to be fair, had it not been for this game, we wouldn't have all the other great classes like LA Noire, Manhunt, Red Dead Redemption, not even the other GTAs at that point. But if I had to judge the game based on its own, it's not really good. I mean, story-wise, a lot of things just happen to happen. Claw is not a very good main character. I barely felt like any personality to him, and some people say that's the point. You're not supposed to relate to him, which, yeah, if that was the point, then they did a good job because, like I said, I didn't feel anything for him. But I didn't feel anything for any of the characters either. I didn't feel good for him. Aside from the hatred towards Catalina, I really didn't feel like for anybody, like for the Asuka clan, the family, and I felt nothing for that. Not even for Leone family and everything, nothing like that. The only close I had some sort of a feeling towards was mainly, I guess you could say Donald Love, probably, because he was charismatic, he was smart, he knew what he was doing. He was like the most respected out of all of them, which is like interesting. But aside from that, I really don't have much to do. And Eva Maria was like a good character. In fact, she was more annoying and everything. She was the reason like like other part of the game started really. But aside from that, like I said, disappointing beginning, but at the same time, had it not from this game, we wouldn't have any other games. So it's disappointing in general, but had it not from this game, we wouldn't have the other games. Which brings us to the second game, which was Vice City. As you can see, it's called Double Pack, and this was all. I only got this because I like the artwork around it. The back is, it's whatever, it's fine. But I'll probably get another disc with the original cover, but why not? But as you can see, it's the regular disc, has the Vice City poster, and especially because it comes with a poster too, which you can take out. Tourist guide, that's what it's called. On a scale from number 3, it's a little bit more better, I would say, but at the same time, I wouldn't still not as high and that's everything. Admittedly, the third one has a bar. It doesn't even have a high bar, but this one is just a bit higher. But that's only because a lot of things went by so fast, and you realize the game is really not that long and everything. But the reason why it makes it higher is mainly because I actually know these characters and everything. I actually know who they are and everything. Tommy Vercetti is actually a better character than the Claw. Like, I actually feel like he had a personality and everything, especially played by the late great Ryota. May he rest in peace. But besides that, it really isn't that much because not much stories, missions going around, and most especially the second island of Vice City is very barren. That's only because, as we all know, this was originally supposed to be a DLC disc for the third game and everything. So that's why it was very very small, especially for a full game as this and everything. But the soundtrack is fire like always because who wouldn't love the '80s aesthetic and everything? And there's all the metal, rock, soul, even the emotion, all that stuff. I just wish they could have done more and everything, added some stuff, and of course it goes to the same thing as the third one did, which is that characters can't swim, which is a bit annoying. Didn't figure that out until about San Andreas and everything. But If I had to pick a pair, like I said, it's a bit higher than 3, but it's not really a given because, like I said, the bar was always so low for 3 and everything, so not that much higher, but it's a bit higher. And speaking of San Andreas, here we have San Andreas. As you can see, it's a special edition. I managed to find this on sale for about $100, which you might say it's a lot, but not really, as compared to other prices that go from 150 to 1,000. And this one was 100 because of the physical edition, which looks okay, but which made things a little bit damaged, but it's actually better. Okay, it's managed to hold a lot of stuff. And as you can see, the special edition comes with the famous introduction mission, which you can find online pretty much nowadays. But it's on disc along with Sunday Driver, which was a documentary film, a true-ish documentary because a lot of people reviewed it now. Some people say it's not really truthful about some things, but I don't know. But I wouldn't know because I haven't seen the film yet. As you can see, it has the introduction and everything, showing how the starts of the game happen. As you can see up here, put in gold and everything. And if I can take this thing out, as you can see, here's the introduction and everything. Comes with the DVD. As you can see, the DVD and everything has all that stuff. Looks pretty good. Pretty good design. And here's the game and everything. It looks special. As you can see, the disc ends with the back art and everything pretty well. I managed to make it look like that. But as you can see, same art, just different words and everything. Almost blends in together, except for the PS2 logo right there. As you can see, here's another tour guide. There's San Andreas, an advertisement, of course, from this in-universe, and of course, it also comes with a poster too. Like I said, it was pretty much a good bargain especially for $100. Especially how the disc was okay. I only really bought it because I wanted to make sure the disc was okay. Had it been not okay, I wouldn't have bought it in the first place and everything. But aside from that, it was pretty good. The game ran well. I played it all the way through. And to tell you the truth, it's the best 3D game out of all of the bunch. Note, I said the 3D game, 3D universe. So it's the best in the 3D universe, mainly because it had a lot of ambition, put a lot into the game, and it didn't feel like it was bloated and everything. You actually liked all the characters. If I did have a gripe, it was the tonal shift because those are what people say, especially the way they advertise it as a gangster game. It has to be like only 50% gangster. In fact, if anything, Saints Row 1 and 2 were more gangster than this game. And that's saying something. That's only because halfway through, and spoilers, I guess, if once you get banished from San Andreas, you have to go around through Las Venturas and San Fierro. It starts becoming a gangster game more like an average GTA game, doing stuff for various bosses and everything, all that stuff. You almost forget this is a game that was originally promoted about gangsters and everything in the 1990s. I mean, you even raid Area 51, the in-universe Area 51, Area 69. Joke. But you raid it and you steal a jetpack. What does that say? A jetpack in a gangster game. I don't mind it. I actually like the jetpack and everything. It gets me far, especially when having to drive a car. Especially when I get to one island to another without all that hassle. But really? Area 51 in a gangster game. Saints Row 1 and 2 never really jumped the shark that much. Actually, you might say 2 did with the whole futuristic thing in the fictional world of 2010, but it still managed to be a gangster game about turf and everything, and never really jumped to anything. Yeah, it's just like weird. But if I had to judge it on its own, it's a pretty good, fun game. It's the one game that always gets memed on almost every time. And yeah, it's pretty much it pretty much became like what is it like a victim of their own success, because after that all the memes and everything kept coming out and everything. Some people say that it hurts the game and everything, but I played the game even knowing the memes and everything, and I still enjoyed it because I didn't really get spoiled by the game that much. I did have the 360 version, which tells you that I was into masochism. But not really. But no, really, it was really a piece of junk, and really, I couldn't afford this one, especially this one. But then I did, and guess what? I would advise you to play the PS2 version, and I really mean it of all the other games too, because especially if you miss the whole soundtracks and you don't like them missing from the Steams or PC versions, because they will get rid of them and everything. So I advise you to get console versions because you won't be you won't be disappointed and everything. But especially get the PS2 versions of these games because they really were a product at the time. Because at the time they were PlayStation exclusive at the time. And yeah, especially PS2, you should really get the PS2 because if you get it for Xbox or even for the original Xbox, you'll notice in the PC, you'll notice the real graphic distance between this one and all the other ones. You can actually look at comparison videos and see the difference, and that's because Rockstar really, really took their time with the PS2 version, which, like I said, because the PlayStation was their bread and butter back then. Because back then, they did put auto ports in the games, but that was like later and later in their lifespan. But yeah, this shows you how much and everything. The next one was original is of course is an actual PlayStation exclusive. That of course is Liberty City Stories. If I had to compare it with the other rating ones, it's actually a bit more higher. Like it's in between mostly Vice City and San Andreas. Like the reason why it's in the middle because the story was better than 3 and Vice City because you playing a character you already know, especially from the third game, and he actually has a personality. Tony Cipriani here, and everything. He has a personality whatsoever. You get to be more of a gangster here than you do in 3, which a lot of people say is a good gangster game, but in reality, it's Liberty Story was the better games because you actually are in the mafia and everything, whereas Claude was just an outsider being in various gangs. But aside from that, if I had to compare it, if I had to compare it, like I said, it's still in the middle because, like I said, it really took a step backwards in comparison to gameplay and everything because originally this was a PSP exclusive at the time. Because, like I said, Sony and Rockstar and bread and butter, all that stuff. So if you did notice a graphical downgrade, and especially how your main character can't swim again in this game, because, like I said, they had to restrict a lot of things in the PSP, which is weird because in Vice City Stories, they brought some of the things back and everything, so it wasn't bad, which I don't have, which I'll probably get sometime later in the future. As you can see, it comes with, a fictional newspaper, which, the manual and everything, ranking the whole thing, but for some reason, it didn't come with a poster. A person probably took it and everything. As you can see, it comes with some kind of advertisement for 3. Cuber Collection was one of those weird doll things. It's weird. Of course, the disc and everything looks good. Like I said, comparing it to other ones, this is pretty good, especially better than 3, especially. It seems like a better upgrade to 3 and everything. But, it still had its problems and everything. And, okay, and keeping up with the Grand Theft Auto-ness, I have 2 special video game photos from the famous Brady games, and that's, of course, the manuals. And as you can see, it's pretty beat up, but it's pretty much still usable. It has some tear here and everything, but aside from that, it's a pretty good manual. This is before GTA series videos and YouTube was really a thing, so you really had to keep going to manuals to help with stuff like and everything. But at the same time, they really couldn't be trusted too because they kept putting weird missions that were either cut from the game or it's just cut last minute. So you will see some stuff in missions they say they're in the game, but they're not really in the game. But I really still you should check it out because this is like history right here with the whole video game books and everything. And that's sort of Grand Theft Auto, any kind of game you like that, especially that still has one. There isn't just art or anything. As you can see, it's pretty good. Comes with his own poster and everything. Has a famous girl from the back. Pretty good. Nice travel guide and everything. A strategy guide. Pretty good. And here's another one from Brady Games from the other game from my last video. As you see 4, which is pretty good. I meant to show this first, but it wouldn't be fair if I really did it. But as you can see, it's 4 and everything. As you can see, it looks a bit more better than the other book, more better condition. But like I said, I don't mind it. Like I said, I like 4 better than all the other games. It's still my favorite in all GT, and I mean all of them, for 3D and HD. Story-wise and character-wise, there's that. As you can see, it's the same. All Liberty City has the same problems, like characters, the things that probably are there, but probably not. Already got changed last minute. And some screenshots are from the latest game all the way up to pre-release, as you notice. if you look at the body of the book here, so you notice how Nico looks younger in some pictures, but yet he looks like his gameplay part. But yeah, that's how it is. We're to find stuff, how to do missions, how to do it many other ways. Like I said, this is before the internet. Granted, this was 2008, around when YouTube games getting made. But like I said, GTA series really wasn't really focused on that right now. They weren't really doing guys this really comparatively. As you can see, it's another poster. Shows Nico on one side, shows a lot of the other stuff on the other. It's pretty, very good. But yeah, I advise you to get these things if you can, because who knows, someday the internet or YouTube will just go down for no reason. If you really need to find a way to be like, oh, I need to do this thing, then get the books, of course. And that's that. So let's check on the other games. Yeah, sorry for the darkness, but I have to really move stuff around. And I can't carry these things with one hand. More than one hand. But here is another version, another Rockstar classic that is so controversial that Rockstar doesn't even really like to talk about the game that much, which is surprising. That is, of course, Manhunt. Yeah. And I bet you wonder why don't they like to talk about this? Because it was so, to them it was so off-branded that it was like weird and interesting, because it was all about gore and tapes and everything, and kind of like predates Saw and everything, or was made during Saw's lifetime, which I'm pretty sure the stories and developers based it on. But Sam Howard's or Dan and even Leslie Benzies were like very if we got this game, because this is the one that got in the most trouble, especially with 2. But especially when they felt like this was, but then again, this was during the years when they felt like they could really do a lot. As you can see, it comes with its own manual too. Video Enterprises, the Ian Universe, place where all the snuff film was made, where you can find said stuff and everything. Pretty good. Guy with a disc and everything. It's pretty good. Haven't finished it all the way through yet, but I'm loving it so far. I just wished it was more than just, like, I don't know what's with the tonal shift on this one. Like, it's not as bad as San Andreas, but it's like one minute you're surviving, you're creeping around corners, doing the most graphic kills, like the gameplay is, but then for some reason now you're having shootouts with various gang members. It's like they didn't. It's like the developers couldn't decide whether if you want to be sneaky or go all on out rampage, and the game kind of says that resents the way you do it, because then they're like, they take points off because you're not killing them the way they should be killed, which is like sneakily and everything. But it's weird. It's like, but there's time where like you can't do anything about it. It's just you have to use guns and everything and shoot, much to the dismay of the guy behind the camera who tells you not to do that, but you got no choice. But so I've had a good campaign so far. I haven't finished it. Don't have my full opinion on this yet. All I know is one of the many games that you probably will never see remastered, because as much as GTA will get remastered, Manhunt probably will never see another bright a day, which is kind of sad. And of course, here's 2 more games, which is like the opposite brand of Grand Theft Auto, because you play as the part of the law, and that is, of course, True Crime. As you can see, I have LA and New York City. Pretty good. As you can see with LA, well, I played it, and man, is it very, talk about primitive, gameplay is interesting. There's not much to do outside the story, except from stopping crime and everything. But if you're even the one bit reckless, you get conducted on points, and then you become wanted and everything. And because you're actually obligated to do it, because if you don't do this stuff, you're not going to advance the story with many points and everything, which is weird and interesting. It made me appreciate Sleeping Dogs more, because it came from the same people who made this, and they found a way to perfect everything really from the first 2, because you can actually still do reckless stuff. You won't be reprimanded, especially when you're not in the story. It's only in the story when you're reprimanded, which makes sense, because you're still technically a cop, another good cop. Like I said, these games were like primitive at the time. See, it comes with a manual and everything, pretty good. And a lot of soundtrack. It even has its own CD, because the gameplay, as you can see, includes Snoop Dogg, other rap that yeah, they were really banking on celebrities and everything, especially with Christopher Walken himself. Walken. And as you can see, the second one is a sequel. It doesn't really mention the thing in the LA, but it has the same character, Christopher Walken's character. Yeah, he's somehow in this. The only difference is you're in New York, and it's more different. Oh, the manual came out. The game came out. Hold on. Does that. I can't hold still with this one, but as you can see, this one's special, and you can see by this little disclaimer that came in the thing, which is that no way approved, endorsed, connected anyway with the NYPD, which proves that this game is something, because like I said, New York City, and some people would think that it's like just like NY, like you'll go out, but even though, like I said, there's a whole distance between video games and reality, and you would think they learn, but no. But I haven't played this game yet. I couldn't tell you all about it. All I can know is technically gameplay better than LA, like they finally learned and how to get around with it with the first one. But I'll take the word for it. But at the same time, I haven't played it yet, but I probably will. And as for Sleeping Dogs, like I said, I have the game. I'm showing you the first video, and I'm still in the middle of playing that. But as I can tell you, Sleeping Dogs is the better of both worlds, because these worlds and everything. And up next, we have video game tie-in games, which I only have two, because these two were special and everything, because these were considered the best of the video game tie-ins and close to nature, and that is, of course, Scarface, and of course the famous John Carpenter's The Thing. We'll get to Scarface first, based on Brian De Palma's movie and everything. And as you can see, I got the collector's edition, which the special edition has a lot more stuff in there, but the collector's edition has more stuff in it. As you can see, it comes with a bonus DVD, but it comes with a documentary walkthrough, because like I said, YouTube wasn't a thing yet. Videos and interviews, hints and tips, and even concept art, which is a lot. And of course, it even comes with a map, which I'll show you. Aside from that, it's really just the same game, just different. This with a slip cover, which I always like. I'm always into slip covers because it's my thing. It's an OCD like thing. I don't know. As you can see, it comes with a poster and everything looks cool. It was fine. Made by Sierra, Radical Entertainment. They did a pretty good job with this game, especially keeping it with the original theme and everything, because they actually had a great screenwriter. As you can see, David McKenna from these two movies, which I haven't seen it at all, really. But they've been really good. But I heard they're really good movies, so they did their best. As you can see, I don't have the disc in here. It's in the PlayStation. And here's the manual and everything, gameplay tips and everything. And then there's the poster right there. And as you can see from the back of this thing, it has the advertisement for the DVD Platinum Edition, which I actually have in my collection and everything. Because the Blu-rays, the Blu-rays never had a good time. I keep hearing nothing but complaints about the Blu-ray movie, because they never can really do. They did well on DVDs, but with Scarface, man, on Blu-rays they're very, very bad. Like, they get bad quality and audio. I don't know how much to show you the information about this, but as you can see, it's a receipt from Music World Computer World. I looked it up. This person who bought it years ago, back when this was released, back in 2000. As you can see, October 2006, which was when this was out. And this person paid a lot of money. I mean, they paid $65. I mean, $65. This thing was $60 back then. And I bought this for over $100 online, because this thing has become rare nowadays. But this person paid $60. Is it worth $60? Fuck yeah, it is. I'm having a blast. But is it worth $100? No. But I kept the receipt, because that in itself is a vintage. It shows you. And this person bought it in New York, which shows you this get all the way from New York all the way to where I live, which is in Texas. It shows you. And the person who had it, I mean, I don't know if it was the same guy who bought it off of this 10 years ago, but he took really good care of this thing for 20 years almost. And yeah, it looks pretty good condition and everything. Just a few scuffs in here, but it's pretty good. Nothing to complain about. Yeah, I like this one so far. I haven't finished it yet, but I can tell you I'm loving every bit of one of it. The guy who playing Tony Montana's voice, Al Pacino, did the smart thing and hired him, because, man, he can pull off a good Tony and everything. I'm just still wondering what made Al Pacino say yes to this, but say no to the Godfather game, which I wish I had, but I don't have it yet. Weird. I think that might goes to show you which movie he likes better, but then again, I can't speak for that. And here's the other part of it, the other good part, which is John Carpenter is the thing and everything. And as you can see from the top, John Carpenter himself liked it. In fact, he loved it. He loved the gameplay and the development so much that during development, he actually got a cameo in the end of the game. With spoilers, after you end up defeating the monster again and everything, he actually appears as a cameo as a helicopter pilot. Yeah, he liked it so much. Yeah, and it really, I'm surprised he does. I'm surprised, and I'm not that surprised because it's a pretty good game. Has all those survival horror elements that the original '80s movie did. Has you making guess of who's who. Can you really trust the other person just like you can trust yourself and everything? It would be really better, especially if it was like unpredictable and everything, because as you can tell from 2000, what was it made? 2002. Pretty good game for 2002, but it's really showing its age um, because when the monster takes the creature takes the thing takes control of one of your crewmates, it's not really well. Let's just say you'll never see it coming if you haven't played the game before. But if you keep replaying the game, you'll notice that the same ones will become maybe it's not even unpredicted because, like I said, made in 2002. Had the gameplay been advanced, we would have had different teammates becoming the monster instead of just the same ones you'll see and everything. Because it was really yeah, innovative, but still like a few years behind. As you can see, it comes with the manual and everything, has advertisement and everything. Game for that game and everything. I had that game, but I got rid of it because not much to play. I enjoyed it, just but as you can see, the disc is good and everything. It's pretty good. I really think you should play this. I just really wish they should remake this game, make it like how it was originally with more monsters. Have the AI never be unpredictable, so you never know who's the thing and what's really human. And by the time you find out, and it's always a different crewmate with every gameplay to make it more replayable and everything, especially when you miss collectibles or anything. Yeah, and like I said, John Carpenter liked it so much he declared the video game an actual direct sequel to his 1983 movie. Like it's actually a direct. So if you want to know what happened to the group and everything, this game explains it for you. Which with spoilers or whatever, they sadly didn't survive. So yeah, spoilers there. Sorry about that, but yeah, they didn't survive apparently because not one. You don't see one gameplay footage of McCready and also the other guy character. You don't see their bodies or anything. You get bodies or anything, but then again, they don't pop up ever. So my guess is they probably didn't survive. But, those are two best versions of video game movies. I have to move some stuff around. Sorry about that, guys. It's gonna be hard. Okay. Here we got 3 more games from a video game franchise I like. Thanks to a certain video game reviewer named TGX Game Reviews. You should really check out his channel. Rather, you should check out his new channel, Tactical Baking Productions, because that's his new channel now. Because people still are weirded out that he has a new one, but and that the game he made me introduce that I loved was of course Crash franchise. I have the PS1s, but I'll show those later and everything. But as you can see, it's the PS2 ones and everything. Of course, the first one is of course the infamous Wrath of Cortex, and trust me, when I mean infamous because even I played it, and yeah, it's not very good. For what it was in 2001, it was pretty good, but looking back, man, it's not very. Even compared to the PS1, it's not very good. It's like you have geared gameplay things that instead of stylized art, they didn't look weird and everything. Like I prefer what's here in the front and what's the gameplay in the back and everything. Looks very pixely and messy and everything. And of course, here's the manual and everything. And of course, as you know, all these 2001 discs, as you call it, is the infamous blue disc. Yeah, the infamous blue disc. Kind of like how the PS1 was known for the black disc. This is the blue disc. These things are notorious and everything. Malfunction problems. They probably messed up your PS2 if you had it in there long enough. But throughout some many courageousness, or maybe masochism if you look at them the other way, which is that I finally managed to make it 100% or 106% in this case for this game, but I beat it 100%. Probably never gonna play this again, but it's still a good game in the life. Might as well still keep it. And here's the other one, which is my second favorite kart racer game from this game. That was the first one being CTR. And that is, of course, Nitro Kart. This one, they really, Vicarious Vision really cared about this and everything. I can see why they ended up taking control of the Insane trilogy and everything. Which is like, it's a pretty good game, pretty good story. You get to play Team Crash or Team Cortex. It depends who you are. No manual this time. Comes with a disc and everything. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good and everything. It has the same control styles and everything from the CTR. It's better, more enhanced. It's in space and everything. You get different endings depending which team member, which team course you are. If you Team Crash, it ends up being good. But, if your Team Cortex is bad and everything. But I have 100% of this one. I completed it. It was a pretty fun thing to enjoy. And as you can see, Cortex was like this here, but in the gameplay, if it's shown here, which I don't see it really, but if you look at the cutscenes, he looks way different from this, especially other player characters too and everything. Yeah, pretty good game. I have no objection to this. Next one is, of course, Twin Sanity, which, this is when they start dropping the Bandicoot name, because even Wrath of Cortex have Bandicoot in there, but this is when Crash Twin Sanity. Love the art style here and everything. And this is where you can finally get to play Cortex and Crash for the first time. Well, Cortex for the first time, but you can play the other ones, and everything. And as you see, a very good joke right there. You get to play other stuff, 4 playable characters. But if you look at your disc, it says 3 and everything. That's because they changed the number between the regions and everything. And one of them happens to be Nina. The other one happens to be that mech thing. That's the 4th character. But you only get to play that one time at the end of the story. As for Nina, at least you get to play her 2 times. Well, 1.5. Especially in the final boss, we get to play all 3 and everything. Admittedly, I wish this game was remade, especially with after It's About Time was made. I'm hoping this Twin Sanity will be our next game and everything, because it had a good premise and everything. As you can see, it's advertisement for Crash the Titans and everything. The game, when that game was coming out in the Xbox and later PS2, but it was a downgrade mostly. As you can see, here's the disc and everything. Here's the disc and all that stuff. Pretty good. It has this weird, I don't know who this is from. Pretty good game. I just wish it was more finished back then, but I really hope they make a remastering now and everything. I really hope they do. And everything. And hold on, guys. I have to put those back. Okay. Up next are okay, guys. I'm running out of memory from this phone now, so if you're gonna see, I'm gonna release both these videos back to back. So sorry about the abrupt ending, but I'm gonna have to end it now. So see you hopefully actually pretty soon after this video uploads. Bye.